Hey, it's me, TB, and today I'm going to be doing my best books of 2019. In 10th place, we have Parable of the Sower by Octavia E. Butler. I don't know why people don't talk about the series because holy fuck, this book was so fucking good. But like, you don't have like your main cast, so like the midpoint. Somehow, I've never cared more about a main cast before in a book before. Like, I love this cast and just don't even see them for that long, and they're just incredible. So this book is a dystopia about, thanks to the changing climate, water is harder to find. The lower half of like the United States is slowly becoming like more of a lawless wasteland full of like impoverished because of a drug that's starting to like swoop the nation called pyro, I think. And specifically just making people want to like obsessed with like starting fires and just destroying stuff. So that's just, I think it's happening throughout the world. It's just like destroying more land because of how dry everything is now. And just because of that, just there aren't a lot of jobs anymore because it's like a dystopia kind of. Things are like falling apart. And the United States just as a whole just kind of like collapsing. Our main character is kind of like obsessed with trying to find a way out of this and trying to head north because the northern states like Washington, Oregon, Canada, and Canada's not a state, we know. Canada, Washington, Oregon are more like have more water in them. So it's just that people are like flowing upwards towards there. There's been like a border like blocking off people. So it's like pretty risky trying to like base the border. So yeah, book is great because it is very diverse. I think in the entire like little traveling group of like 10 people, showing like 2 white people, everyone else is like non-white, which is great. I don't think there's any like LGBT people in this because this book was like released in like 1980 something, so I'm gonna give it a pass on that one. Yeah, it's just like so fucking great. It's a great science fiction book that I feel like is just so good to read. And like if you have never read sci-fi stuff before, I think this is like a good place to start because it isn't like too deep in like science fiction stuff. So it's like a great place to like dip your toes in. I just really like this book and it made me want to read more by this author. And I did this year with Kindred. This is not on my end of the year list because I just didn't want to have 2 books by the same author. So kind of like a group deal, you know? But yeah, if you never read Octavia E. Butler, please do. She's so fucking good. Next up at number 9, we have The Strike in the Shadows by Chantal Godori. This is an arc that's releasing in, let me go look. The Strike in the Shadows is releasing on March 3rd, 2020. This is a dark fantasy retelling of Hansel and Gretel, basically. In this book, the twins, Hans and Greta, are living together in a village. Their father has since died, and the town they live in is haunted by the legend of the Strike, which is basically a witch that lures men in and kills them. And I just love this book. It was like so dark and twisty, and just the way that like the more darker elements of fantasy are like brought out is so good. I love it so much. I really want to buy like a hard copy of this because it's just so fucking good. It is part of a series, so like fair warning, it is in like a little cliffhanger kind of. So fair warning on that. But it was like a darker interpretation of Hansel and Gretel, and I so fucking loved it so much. It was just so good and fantastic. And I think out of the 2 twins, I prefer Greta over Hans because Hans is just a fucking normal man, which, to be fair to the author, she did write a man very like good for a man because he's just horny all the time, which is a pretty good representation of most men at like the age of like 19 or 20. So good on you. That's actually like a very good depiction of a man. That's very accurate. Can confirm. And I just love it so much. I can't even explain how much I liked it because it was just so good. The twists are so good. Like the suspenseful moments are so good. The darker moments are so good. I don't know how this is only number 9, but I wanted to put it higher. There are just other books on my list, and I had to make sacrifices. This is one of them. So fucking please check this book out. It was so good. Next up at number 8 is We by Evgeny Zamyatin. I've talked about this book in like too many videos recently, so I'm not going to explain it anymore because you know what it's about. It's basically like if 1984 was good because this book was published first, and Orwell basically stole all of his ideas from it. Like in this book, we have like a female main character that's like a badass and isn't just like a sex toy. She has control in the relationship, and she's like a total badass, trying to like save the day by herself. It's fucking cool. Like she's hitting the fan, just incredible. So it's just great. I highly recommend it. It's a dystopia, and again, like I said, it's basically 1984 but she's like well written. So here you go. Next up at number 9 was a recent reread for me, and that is A Tale of Two Cities by Charles Dickens. I'm not going to pop up a picture of it because I do technically own a copy of it. It's just tripod, you know. This is a classic that I reread just for a classics group chat read-along thing. This book takes place in the French Revolution. It takes place between two cities, shocker, between I think London and Paris, and it's following just like a cast of characters, and it's just so heartbreaking, so intense. Oh, I love it so much, so good. I will straight up tell you that I don't recommend reading this if you don't want to read like a lot of classics. And the like first volume of it is like 6 chapters. It's very boring and stale. You do have to read them to like get backstory for like the rest of the story. But like the first volume is definitely the weakest of them all. And Dickens doesn't know how to shut the fuck up. So just straight up, he goes into too much detail sometimes. But like I already read it before, so I kind of knew like the plot progression, so it wasn't as hard for me to like get through the plot as it probably would be for other people. So again, if you like read a lot of classics, you can probably get through this pretty easily. But if you don't, you can go to SparkNotes and like you can read it on there, and they have like a translated version, so it's like in modern English instead of like Victorian English. So you might want to do that. I didn't use it, so I can't vouch for how good it is. But it's on SparkNotes, so it's probably good, you know. It's like a classic. There's not a lot to say about it. It's not really not spoil anything for you, but Madame Defarge is the best character in the book because she's a badass that's like stabbing people left, right, and center. She's trying to like kill people, and I just love it. She's great. I stan her. She's great. So yeah. Next up at number 6 is Rise of Kyoshi by FCE. I was not expecting to like this book as much as I did, but it's basically like taking place in the after the Last Airbender universe, and oh my god, it's so good. It's like it's like you need to like watch the show to like get a lot of like backstory for this, I feel like, but it's so good. You should like watch the show if you haven't, because first of all, it's a great show. Why haven't you watched it? Second of all, the book is fucking fantastic. It's gonna be a series, I'm pretty sure, because it kind of is like a cliffhanger sort of, and just it's so good. It is a more darker interpretation of after the Last Airbender universe, so fair warning on that one. But overall, oh my god, it's a good darker, so it's not like edgy dark, but it is darker. I just really like that. We learned so much about Kyoshi and a little like her version of like Team Avatar, and I hope they all come back in like book 2 because I love them all so much. I need them all to be with me. And just did a lot of like world building for what happens in Avatar: The Last Airbender. So like it explains why the Southern Water Tribes don't have like a strong military because of like events that happened in this book. It explains why nations are like kind of set up the way they are now, or like in the show, because like stuff that happened in this book. I just did a really good job of that. It kind of like explains this is where this came from. This is why things work like this. It was incredible. I had no problems with this at all. So I want it to be longer because I just loved it so much. The big showdown is like so good because it's not an action-packed showdown, but it's like so intense anyway, and it's so fucking good. Kyoshi is such a badass, and I just, it's so fucking good. I love it so much. It's great, fantastic, incredible. I want to read it again already, but it's very long, so I won't. At least not until the next book comes out. So yeah, it was incredible. Fucking read it if you haven't. Next up at number 5 is a piece of nonfiction, and for that I have Caliban and the Witch, Women, the Body, and Primitive Accumulation by Silvia Federici. This book is all about medieval Europe and how that the witch trials kind of led it to capitalism, how it kind of like let capitalism become as bad as it is, kind of like how the peasantry weren't a kind of like cohesive unit. They were all very different and diverse, and how they all had different points of view, and they didn't want capitalism. They were fighting against it. They were fighting against the rich pretty much for like hundreds of years. But the rich had so much money from the New World that they could basically just hire people to like slaughter resistance. So the poor had no voice for so long. So it's just very sad. But it shows such a great representation of like medieval Europe that it gave me a newfound respect for like medieval Europeans, because they were trying so hard to fight against capitalism, and they lost. Just want to fight against it more for like their sake, because they tried so hard. They deserve so much more. It's like a very like history heavy book, but I feel like it was easy for me to digest. Don't know if that's because I'm like in the middle of college, so like stuff like this is easy for me or not. But I felt that it was really easy to read. Maybe it will be for you, I don't know. But yeah, I really liked it, like a lot. So yeah, please read it so we can talk about it because I liked it so much. Next up is an arc that hasn't come out yet, but coming out April 7th in 2020. That is The Body in the Garden by Catherine Shellman. We're going to start with this book because I loved it so much. It is a historical mystery set in, I think, Regency era, which is like early 1800s in London. So there you go. This follows the widow Lily Adler as she solves the mystery of why someone appeared dead in her friend's garden during a party, because she overheard like the scuffle and the gunshot, but she didn't see who shot the gun, so she's trying to figure out who did it and why. Oh my god, this book sets up clues and foreshadowing in such a great way that I think that I could see it coming now through the clues we were given, but like you don't know it when you're reading it. But when like the big twist comes, it feels like that makes sense. That works with like how the story works. It makes fucking sense. There's foreshadowing. It works so well. Like some of those thrillers on my worst books of the year, like someone did plot twists in such a great way, and I loved it. The cast is also very diverse for like Regency era. There's Jack, who is from, I think his mother is, I don't remember. It's like somewhere from like Southeast Asia, so he is like mixed race. Then we have Ophelia. I think her name's Ophelia. I fucking hope it is. I don't say her name, but I think her name's Ophelia, and she's from the West Indies, I think. So she is also mixed race. And they're just like, they work in the plot, and they're not just plot devices. They have like personalities that are distinct. They actually help in the plot. They're useful in the plot. The book wouldn't be done without their help. So they're like actually useful. They're not just tokens, and it's just so much fun. I love them so much. All my little babies, and I want to read more about them. So I have like a short story that I got from signing up for the author's newsletter and haven't read it yet because I just want to read it because I want like the second book now. It doesn't come out until like next year, or like not even next year, like 2021. So what am I gonna fucking do? Ugh, I need it now. It's so good. It's just everything was done so fucking perfectly that I just wish I had a physical copy right now because again, it was so fucking great. What am I gonna do about it? Next up at number 3 is Conjure Woman by Afia Adekora. Yeah, I got that right. It takes place during the Civil War period, before, during, and after. And I won't go into like a lot of detail about this because I've already talked about it before in like a wrap up. But it basically follows a conjure woman that does like folk magic to help the used to be enslaved but are now kind of free. And I like this book because of how the timeline works. Because like there's like the after the war and before the war, and during the war, and like after the war is like its own distinct time period, and everything before after the war is like its own also time period, and they kind of like alternate. But it alternates in such a way that like twists kind of like connect to each other. So like a twist you're left on in the present will be solved in like the past section, and the past is slowly catching up to the present. So we're seeing like how the past got to where it is, the secrets that are being held in like the present that are like explain the actions that our MC is taking. This is coming out March 17th, 2020, and I highly recommend it because, like I said, it's incredible. I loved it so fucking much. Oh my god, it was incredible. Like I can't explain why it's so incredible because it's just like astounding. The story was incredible. Everything was just incredible. I loved it so much. I already gushed about this book in like my group chat, and on my wrap up, and in my review of it. So like, I don't know what else to say to you. Because like, it's incredible. Please, dear God, pick it up when it comes out because it's just so good. We're done like they're in incredible order. Like I said, they connected with each other, so you never like holding out on like one twist for too long, like one mystery for too long. They're always like solved pretty quickly. There's also like more mysteries that you want to solve too. So we're just constantly being like torn along the plot with the story, and I was just in love the entire time. It was incredible. I want to read more about this author, but this is her debut. So, step number 2 is A Violet Fire by Kelsey Quick. This is a vampire book that is about kind of like a alternate history kind of world, or it's like a fantasy kind of interpretation of history that came out December 9th, so you can get it now, and please do because it's fucking great. And it's about this place where like vampires have taken over, and they're kind of like living in like their own like miniature country in France. I think it's like most of France, but I was never like shown it to you on a map, I don't think, so I can't really be sure, but This book, humans are enslaved by the vampires. Humans are given to the vampires basically to be like feeding stock for them, so they can like just drink blood whenever they want. They do get abused, right? Kind of like intense about that stuff. There isn't anything like rapey that we're shown in text, like described to us. It is hinted at there is like rape going on, so fair warning about that. I think the main thing I really liked about this book is just the world building. Like, it made me want to hear more about this world. Like, I would read a history textbook about this world because I was so invested in it, because I was just sucked in immediately, and I just wanted to read more about this like immediately, because it ends on a cliffhanger, because fuck me, of course it does. And I will tell you that this is a self-published book, but it reads like it is published by one of the big five. Like, there's not a single problem I had with this book. It wasn't a pacing issue. There wasn't like any plot issues. There wasn't any like grammar issues. It was all done perfectly. Like, I did not know this was self-published until I was done, and like I looked it up, and I found the author, and she said that it was self-published. And I was like, what the fuck? This is better than some of the big five books that have been published in the past year. How the fuck did you do all this by yourself? Like, I know that it's vampires, so it's kind of like old and like overdone, and it's kind of like a different interpretation of vampires, while kind of also being closer to like the roots of vampires. I loved it so much. Like, for real, when I say like this book is good, it is like incredible. I don't have a physical copy of this book yet. For some fucking reason, I didn't buy it. Don't know why. I'm gonna buy it ASAP because I love it so much. I need it on my shelf. Still, I gave this book 5 stars. I need the sequel like today. It's not gonna come out until like 2020, like I think fall 2020. So I need it like right fucking now. So yeah, I should tell you that like the top 3 in this list are basically tied. I have to give numbers based on like, because I needed them to give numbers, but they're all basically like number 1 to me. Actually, like the top 4 are all number 1 to me, basically. But I give numbers just to like make a list. So next up in number 1, we have Marrow Charm by Kristen Jack. I always couldn't pronounce the name any other time. When I read Tale of Two Cities, I realized that, oh, that's just pronounced Jack because it's fucking French. I'm fucking stupid, of course. Actually got a physical copy of this in a giveaway, so fucking how cool is that? Along with like little like, you know, picture cards of like the 2 main characters and like one of the monsters in it. So that's pretty fucking cool. This book is about a world where humans are forced underground because there's like a magical portal that has like, and the magic corrupts people and turns them into monsters, basically. And eventually, the main character, Azzy, her brother, is turned to a monster because he is hit with like a very strong magic. He's being exiled, and she wants to find him and like basically like be with him, but she is separated from him. And so she tries to find him, but they're separated, and like the whole book is her trying to find him again. It's split into like multiple sections where like a section is like from her POV, from his POV, and like the last third is kind of like from both of their POVs. I really like this book. It's part of a series, so again, fair warning. This is, like, I don't want to say about this book because I already told you the plot. I like the character, I like the cast. I liked what they're all doing in like the main plot. I think my favorite character was a witch in this book. She's not like a main character, she's like a side character, like that comes and goes. She was just so fucking cool. I loved her so much. The love interest is really fucking cool. I liked him too. Just overall, I really like this book. I think this is like definitely my favorite out of like the top 4 because I really liked it. It was an incredible story. I don't know what to say about this because I liked it so much. Told you the plot, I like all the characters, I like the love romance relationship. It's just really good. Like, it does fuck my heart, but I did love it a lot. So yeah, I guess that's my favorite books of 2019. How you can tell by the fact I just couldn't say anything about them besides I really liked them. They were great. They were fantastic. So yeah, I liked every book. Like, I liked most books I read in 2019. So like this list was hard to make. So like the top 10 were really just like books that I said these are great. I loved them. So sorry about that. But yeah, thank you for watching, and I hope you stay around in the new year. Subscribe, like, share, all that jazz.